Hey guys, welcome back to another video here on the channel. Today I am excited to bring you yet another trim level of the newly refreshed 2025 Hyundai Santa Cruz. And this one just so happens to be the least expensive or most affordable option within the lineup, the standard SE. Now, if you want to know everything that did change across the 2025 Santa Cruz lineup, make sure to check out the dedicated changes video where I go trim by trim, tell you exactly what is changing in terms of its features and options, exterior colors, interior color availability, of course, as well as that pricing information. Now, when it comes to the SE in specific, it did gain a lot of nice and usable standard equipment for 2025, including the 12.3-inch CCNC Lite infotainment system. You now have BlueLink Plus with proximity key entry as well as remote start on the key fob itself. And then you do have items such as the rear USB ports as well as the rear center armrest, among a couple other items which I will have up on the screen that are now going to be made standard across the entire lineup. So very nice changes for 2025, but they did increase the price the most across the Santa Cruz lineup at $1,600, more than that of an equivalent 2024. So now this vehicle does come in just under the $30,000 price point, but again, about $1,600 more than it did cost for 2024. But without further ado, let's not waste any more time. Take a look at what this SE all-wheel drive has to offer for just over $31,000. So the Santa Cruz in front of us is finished in the Atlas white exterior with the black cloth interior. Now, it is important to note the cloth aspect of that because now for 2025, Hyundai has put the H-Tech synthetic leather material on the SEL or higher, which means the base standard SE as seen here is now the only way to get cloth seating surfaces inside of the Santa Cruz lineup. So if you're interested in that, you do have to stick with a base standard SE. Now, starting at the front end of every Santa Cruz, of course, they made this change a couple years ago, but full LED lighting will be found at the front end of every single Santa Cruz, including your LED daytime running lights, turn signals, and projector LED headlamps in that lower housing right there. Now, as I showcased in my limited trim level video, you can see the entire front fascia got much more squared off, even compared to that of an equivalent 2024 with your square LED daytime running lights. And this one being one of those lower trim levels does get the more basic front fascia with the silver accent trim and grille design, the more clear LED running lights, which can be found right here with the satin stainless steel Hyundai logo, which is going to be standard across the board. Now down below, you still have the nice kind of faux rugged looking front fascia, but it's going to be finished in the standard matte black plastic versus that of the darkened chrome accent, which you can see on this Hampton Gray Limited found right over there. Now, coming around to the side profile of the Santa Cruz, this is one of the aspects that didn't change all that much for the refresh, but there are going to be some very subtle changes that really you might not catch upon first impression. So you have the standard matte black plastic cladding across the entire lower belt line, if you will, but coming to the actual wheel arches right here, both on the front as well as the back of the vehicle, these little extensions, likely for aerodynamic reasons and or fuel economy, have been added, which do differ versus that of a 2022 through 2024 model. But then coming up top, you still have the same texture with the little Easter egg Santa Cruz logo found at the top of each wheel arch. Now, coming to the wheel and tire setup, there is going to be new wheel designs across the board, across every single trim, which is great to see. This is going to be the standard SE gloss black and machine accented wheel. It is still going to be 18-inch in diameter with a 245/60 18-inch Kumho Crugin HP71 all-season tire. So I believe this is a carryover all-season tire. And then coming up to the mirror caps, these are going to be the body color mirror caps, no turn signal integration, no puddle lights, no cameras, anything like that, and just the standard matte black plastic trim that matches kind of the rest of the exterior. And unfortunately, these are not going to be heated on the base entry-level SE, but do have blind spot detection as standard, which is a very good driver assistant safety technology. Now, newly standard on the SE is going to be the standard proximity entry on both of the two front door handles. You can see they are finished in the kind of satin black design to match the overall aesthetic of this vehicle. And this one is going to be the only trim level as well to not feature the roof rack capability from the factory. So if you're getting an SEL or higher, it will come standard with the crossbars, or excuse me, the roof rails on the top that do support the crossbar functionality if you want to use that for additional accessories or carrying additional items on the roof. Now, coming out back of the Santa Cruz, this is one of the aspects that actually changed the least for the refresh. So you still find partial LED lighting with your LED running lights, but you do have incandescent brake lights, turn signals, and then the reverse lights are going to be located down at the lower rear bumper. Still have the integrated side steps, which is nice for getting in and out of the bed a little bit easier, even though this truck doesn't have a super high ride height. And then you can see the entire bumper on the base SE is pretty much going to be entirely black, where on the Limited and some of those higher trims such as the XRT, it will be a nicer darkened chrome accent, but you still have the LED license plate lights down here, and then up top you will find the black Hyundai logo, integrated backup camera, and of course the electronic release button for that easy lift lower tailgate, and then H-track badging here on the right side of the tailgate to signify that this one is indeed all-wheel drive. So that's pretty much going to be a look at the exterior of a 2025 base entry-level Santa Cruz. You guys let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comment section below, but overall, I really do like the minor changes that they did make at the front of the vehicle just to give it a slightly revised design. Now let's go ahead and take a quick look at the window sticker so you guys know exactly how this one is equipped before jumping onto the inside. So take a look at the window sticker. The base SE comes even more well equipped versus that of an equivalent 2024 model. So you get things like the 12.3-inch CCNC light infotainment, BlueLink Plus, which is free for the lifetime of the first owner, proximity entry, and then you do have the LED overhead interior lighting among the rear armrest and rear USB ports. Now this one does have a few additional accessories on it, and it is important to know that Atlas White is no longer an extra cost paint color from the factory. Instead, Hyundai has changed the extra cost colors to be a couple of the others within the lineup. But even with that being said, this one comes in at $31,915, including destination and all-wheel drive. So take a look on the interior. Like I mentioned, this one has the black cloth interior, but gray is going to be available as well, depending on the exterior color that you do choose. Starting out here on the door panel, it's going to be mostly a carryover design, very similar to that of the refreshed Tucson, and mostly hard touch plastics as well, with your textured upper, the faux accent stitching that runs into the dashboard, textured plastic on the backrest portion, and then this is going to be the soft touch material on this particular trim level, kind of in a leatherette vinyl material. You do have power windows, mirrors, and locks, with the driver's side window being the only one automatic up-down. Silver accent door handle pull with a good amount of lower door storage, and of course the standard 6-speaker audio system. Coming to the driver's seat, this is going to be the manual driver's seat as well, with 6-way adjustability, including your height adjustment. And there you can see the black cloth with the accent pattern in the middle section, as well as the backrest. This again is the only trim level to feature the cloth material. And then coming across the dashboard, you can see the new revised design. So here in the interior of the Santa Cruz, you're going to find the very similar design language and interior technology layout as that of the newly refreshed Hyundai Tucson, with just a few small changes in features and overall design. Now in front of the driver, you're going to find the fully digital and partially configurable but more basic display found in the Santa Cruz SE and SEL. This is going to be controlled here on the left side of the steering wheel. It has your fixed speedometer and tachometer on the left and right hand side, with your digital 4.2-inch display in the center. Now toggling through all the screens, you have your normal trip information, odometer, exterior ambient temperature, fuel range at the top. Pressing the button one time gives you your safety systems, and then cycling it through one more time gives your all-wheel drive power distribution, as well as your TPMS pressures. And then of course you do return to the normal home screen. Now coming back to the steering wheel, this is going to be the normal plastic urethane design. Of course not going to be heated, and nor is it going to be leather wrapped, but it is going to be very familiar to that of the newer Hyundai Kona, the Sonata, pretty much every other Hyundai vehicle that has been recently refreshed and or all new for the 2024 or 25 model year. You have the 4 dots in the center with the nice stainless steel accent trim. On the left side, you have your regular cruise control. This vehicle does not come with smart cruise control, but does have lane follow assist, as well as some of the other driver assistance technologies. On the right side, you have your audio, multimedia, Bluetooth, and configurable star button. Automatic headlights, auto high beam assist as standard. Of course, non-rain sensing wipers, but intermittent in design here on the right side. And then to the left of the steering wheel, you have your gauge dimming, LED bed lighting, which is just the light above the third brake light, as well as traction control off. You have a nice AC vent, which is located a little bit lower in the overall dashboard than that of an equivalent 2024. And then above that, you have your little magnetic cloth pad on the side of the digital cluster. Across the dashboard, mainly hard touch black plastics. And then coming over here to the main infotainment system, this is one of the highlights in my opinion, which is the new CCNC Light infotainment, 12.3-inch in size, supports wireless Android Auto, Apple CarPlay, Sirius XM, AM, FM, USB, Bluetooth inputs as well, and then does have BlueLink Plus integration, which is free for the lifetime of the first owner. And I do have separate dedicated videos here on the channel going over this system and the overall UI in a little bit more detail. Of course, push button start, standard on every single Santa Cruz, and then below that you have more of the physical hard touch buttons that are going to be found across the lineup as well. And this one being a standard SC does give you the single zone manual climate controls in the nicer non-gloss black design, which is also going to be found in the Tucson SE. But overall, really do like all the physical shortcut buttons as well as your dedicated volume and tune knobs. Below that, USB-C charging and or data ports. So this one's the selectable data or charge only. And then you have a good amount of storage just below that. Coming to the center console, this is going to be the one big difference versus some trim levels of the Tucson, where every Santa Cruz is going to feature a physical shifter here in the center console, where if you look at my Tucson Limited video, for example, it does have the shift by wire, which moves that to the column and then frees up the entire center console for a slightly different design. But every Santa Cruz will look pretty much identical to this one with just a few more or less buttons. Here is the new proximity key fob. It's the egg shape with the Hyundai logo. Has built-in remote start and all of the other functions. You guys know how I feel about this key fob. Don't really enjoy it, but is what it is, and it has these separate physical keys on the end right there. This one being all-wheel drive does have your center differential lock, which sends power 50-50 front and rear, automatic vehicle hold, electronic parking brake, a rear backup camera, which you can pull up on the screen right there, as well as your hill descent control. And then coming to the all-wheel drive selector, it does have normal, sport, smart, as well as snow modes. That snow mode only comes on all-wheel drive equipped Santa Cruzes. And then here in front of the console, this is the gloss black trim, which is no longer used for any buttons or anything. It's just a simple accent piece now, which is a little bit unfortunate. But you do have a soft touch center armrest, good amount of storage inside, and as you can see, it does still have the removable small tray if you want to use that, but no ports or lights are going to be found inside. Coming up to the headliner is going to be a black headliner with the black interior, no vanity illumination on the base model version of this vehicle, manual dimming interior rearview mirror, Blue Link SOS buttons, passenger airbag, indicator sensor, and newly standard on every Santa Cruz is going to be the overhead LED lighting, which I think is much more usable at nighttime on a daily basis. And then there, of course, is the lack of a sunroof in this particular vehicle, but just the standard black headliner. But let's go ahead and take a look at the back seat and see what some of the new amenities are back there. So take a look at the back seat. Most of the materials are pretty much going to follow through from the front. So starting out on the door panel, this is going to be entirely hard touch materials, so no soft touch padded armrest, but you still do have the integrated bottle or cup holder. And then coming to the seating surfaces, of course, this is going to be the same cloth design with the accent pattern and stitching in the middle section. And then step in height is going to be fairly easy given the overall door opening and ride height of this vehicle. But there's going to be a quick look at the center dashboard. And then coming back to the rear seat amenities, unfortunately no AC vents on the standard SE, but that will be found, I believe, on the SEL or higher. But you do, however, get the newly standard USB-C charging ports, which is great to see. One map pocket on the passenger side. And then this seat is adjusted to my approximate rough driving position. And as you can see, I have about 2 inches of rear legroom, plenty of footroom down below, and headroom is going to be very good, especially without the sunroof on this vehicle, with at least 3 or 4 inches of headroom. And then one item that I'm excited to showcase is the rear center armrest with 2 cup holders. Again, a standard feature now on every single Santa Cruz for 2025. That was actually formerly not found on any Santa Cruz for 2024. So rear seat comfort has definitely improved. This one being an SE does not have the sliding rear window, but it does have the defrost function. If you want the slider, you do have to get an SEL activity package or higher. But yeah, overall room back here, considering the physical size and footprint, really isn't that bad. The cloth material is a little bit on the stiffer and scratchy side of things, just like that of the Hyundai Tucson, but really not going to be too bad in terms of overall comfort. And beneath the seat, you do still have the 60/40 split folding design, so pull that lever, it will lock in place just like that. You can see the 60/40 design with a lot of under seat storage possibilities with some of your accessories down there. Now coming out back to the bed, this one has the electronic release as standard, which means you can release it from the key fob and or with the button on the tailgate. And then you have the 4-foot bed, composite in design, so no bed liner needed in this bed itself. You have the integrated underfloor storage or trunk area, which is electronically lockable with the tailgate and the vehicle itself. integrated drain plug, of course, and this is a very usable storage area for tailgating or different items you may need on an occasional basis. Keeps a lot of the water out, so I'm very impressed with that. You still have these storage cubbies on the left and right hand side. This one does not have the power outlet. Again, that's on an activity package or higher, but you have a lot of the same tie down points without the adjustable rail system. And overall, a pretty usable 4-foot bed in terms of its, physical volume. Now, the one item I do want to mention is that the button for the LED rear cargo lighting or bed lighting only comes on Santa Cruz's equipped with the LED lighting, which I believe is a either SEL or SEL activity package or higher, but every Santa Cruz still comes with the LED bed lighting up there near the third brake light. So like I showcased in the limited trim level video, there is a button newly standard here on those vehicles with the LED bed lighting found right here and right here on the left and right hand side. But if you don't get those Santa Cruzes, then unfortunately you do not have that bed light and you have to use the button on the inside of the cabin. Now, wrapping up here on the passenger front seat, unfortunately you don't get a power seat or height adjustable seat on this one, so just a 4-way manual seat. But there's a better look at the revised center dashboard with the newly standard center shelf design, also found in the Tucson. And then coming to the glove box, it is going to be damp design, does not have LED illumination, but is a good usable size for storage and things like that. So yeah, that's going to be a look on the interior of the Santa Cruz SE. Let's go ahead and pop the hood, see what powers this particular vehicle, and then go ahead and wrap up this video. So under the hood of the Santa Cruz SE, you're going to find the standard 2.5 liter naturally aspirated 4-cylinder engine paired to an 8-speed torque converted automatic transmission. Now this comes in either front wheel drive or all wheel drive configurations and puts out 187 horsepower and 178 pound-feet of torque. Now, what is important to note, if you're looking for a front-wheel drive only Santa Cruz, you have to stick to an SE, SEL, or SEL activity package with this powertrain, because as standard in the XRT and Limited, that will come with the 2.5 liter turbo with 8-speed wet dual clutch transmission, and all-wheel drive is also standard on that particular vehicle. So that's going to do it here for this quick walk-around tour of the newly refreshed 2025 Hyundai Santa Cruz and its most affordable base SE trim level. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video and or found something helpful. If you did, make sure to hit that like button below, subscribe if you haven't already, and check out additional 2025 Hyundai Santa Cruz videos and or Tucson videos already posted and or upcoming on the channel. Make sure you guys stay tuned because there's a lot more coming on this particular vehicle. But overall, I think for 2025, Hyundai made a lot of the right changes, both small and big, with the physical hard touch controls returning to the interior for pretty much every Santa Cruz, some having a small touchscreen for the heated seats and stuff like that. But the new updated CCNC infotainment system is a big upgrade with wireless Android Auto, Apple CarPlay across the board. Of course, you have little items such as the rear center armrest, rear USB charging, AC vents located in more trim levels of the rear seat, and then you do have that button for the LED bed lighting in the trunk area as well, which was not found on any Santa Cruz for 2024, but Hyundai has made that pretty much standard along with the LED bed lighting in the trims that it comes with for 2025. So as a whole, I think they made a lot of the great changes that help out this vehicle, as a whole. I think the biggest drawback to the SE in particular is going to be the $1,600 price increase over that of an equivalent 2024. You are getting a lot of the nice technology with BlueLink Plus, Free for Life, proximity entry, all the updates that I just mentioned for the most part on this vehicle, but $1,600 is a very significant amount for a model year changeover and or refresh model. So that is something to consider. Whereas trim levels, as I believe the SE or SL Activity and XRT, believe it or not, went up much less, if not actually decreased about $100 versus their equivalent 2024. So do keep that in mind while looking at Santa Cruz, as some trim levels actually went down in price versus 24, and other ones did have a fairly noticeable increase. But again, across the board, they made very robust and nice changes. And again, if you do want the cloth interior, you have to stick with this SE. That was not the case for 2024. But anyways, let me know your thoughts and opinions on the base SE or any of the Santa Cruz lineup down in the comment section below. Make sure to check out the Amazon affiliate link found in the description if you guys want to support the channel at no additional cost to you. And check out the channel memberships if you want early access to some of the videos that I post here on the channel. But anyways, as always, I appreciate continued support and hope to see you guys in the next one.